I genuinely love the fact that Triple H, the creative team, The Rock, whoever's in charge with it, I don't care how this all came together, right? The fact is it came together. The fact that they had the cojones, right, to be bold enough to do this in his last 10 months as an active competitor. I applaud them for it.
What's going on, everybody? Zack, Heydorn, and Rick Ucchino. This is Discussions on the Takedown on SI. Boy, we got a lot to talk about. This is going to be an exciting episode. Rick, I didn't think that, like, we're 3 weeks into this show existing. I did not have, John Cena heel turn on the bingo card necessarily when we kind of pieced this show together, Royal Rumble weekend. But here we are. John Cena's a heel, and he's teamed up with The Rock, and he won the Elimination Chamber. He's going to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania for the undisputed WWE Championship. Dude, what'd you think of just John Cena as a heel? Like, you could leave all the other stuff out for now. We'll put it back in a minute, but just Cena as a heel. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Can he pull it off?
Oh, absolutely he can. I love this. I 100% love this. And this is something that I touched on briefly when we did our Elimination Chamber prediction show. Mm-hmm. And, I even called my shot and I said, it's not going to be Cody that sells his soul. It is going to be John Cena. And I feel like it was an absolute now or never moment.
Yeah.
You had to do it now if you were ever going to do it. And I love the fact, I genuinely love the fact that Triple H, the creative team, The Rock, whoever's in charge with it, I don't care how this all came together, right? The fact is it came together. The fact that they had the cojones, right, to be bold enough to do this in his last 10 months as an active competitor, I applaud them for it. Because in all sincerity, the John Cena retirement tour, where he comes out, he does this, he throws up his towel, he waves to the crowd, he wrestles a few matches, he does, him playing the hits does nothing for me. Does absolutely nothing for me. Would have gotten bored with it by June. I'm in now. I am fully invested, all on board. I thought the heel turn was expertly executed. Now, could I pick it apart from a creative standpoint? Sure, I could, right? And I think it was Mona who even said in the press conference to The Rock, like, what if Cody had said yes, right? Like, if you rewind it, right? Like, none of the, like, okay, you needed John to win the Elimination Chamber, which wasn't a guarantee, right? You needed Cody to say no, which wasn't a guarantee. The way that they wrote the script was very much a script, right? Because everything happened directly to set up The Rock to give the throat slash and Cena kick him in the junk and we're off and running. I don't care about that, honestly, like, because I know what this is, right? I don't have to separate myself from the reality of the situation. I know it's a show. I know it's a storyline, and it got us an incredible moment with literally Cody telling The Rock to go F himself, which was a shock moment in and of itself. Yeah. And then seconds later, we just get Cena giving him the hug, apparently proud of this guy that he didn't go back on his principles and sell his soul. And then seconds later, immediately, The Rock gives him the old slash of the throat, and John Cena the emotion washes away. And you could just tell that those acting classes have been paying off for this, because he went from season 1 Peacemaker to Suicide Squad Peacemaker in a heartbeat, right? It was just, and now I'm going to murder you. Like, I'm very interested to see what John Cena looks like, acts like, what he's like in the ring moving forward, because now I think he can be a little bit more of, I don't think he should be a chicken crap heel, right? Like, I think he can be more of a bruiser type, like an older, just pummeling type.
Well, you saw that,
yeah. Like, he's still big, strong, physical stature, but like, what are his, is he going to have a new finisher, right? Is he going to, like, are all of the 5 moves of doom gone, or is he going to do them sarcastically now, right? Or, you know, like there's so many different options. Are we getting a new theme song? We absolutely should get a new theme song. Is he going to wrestle in a singlet? Is he going to wrestle in pants? Is he going to wrestle? What is he going to look like? Right? Like, is he going to wrestle like, you know, 2016 Dean Ambrose and come out there in pants and in full jeans and a tank top? I don't know, but I'm genuinely excited to find out. What's The Rock going to be involved like at WrestleMania this year? Like, there are so many wonderful questions in the air now coming off of this one event. And it was a cataclysmic event. Like, this is foundation shaking type event that played out at Elimination Chamber. Triple H delivered on his promise. Like, everybody is talking about this. This heel turn got up on ESPN, which you know WWE loves. They love themselves the 4-letter call letters, right? They love the mainstream media, especially this time of year, and they got it, man. They had Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith talking about John Cena turning heel. They had everybody, every outlet across the world was talking about John Cena turning heel because he is this global Hollywood superstar. Now, they got the mainstream coverage out of it. They have videos all over the world of children crying and throwing their John Cena gear.
Their toys.
Yeah. And we immediately get that fired up CM Punk promo on the heels of it on Monday Night Raw, calling him a bald fraud, along with his other good buddy now, bald fraud, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the final boss. And the fact that it's now Cena and The Rock together after all the history that they had, to see Cena now become the thing that he hated the most, it's chef kiss. It's fantastic long-term storytelling in WWE. I don't know how it came together, and I don't care, to be honest.
Yeah, like the thing is, like, first of all, I'm with you. I mean, this is, you know, what you wait for in wrestling sometimes. Like, when is that next really huge thing going to happen? And this was that. And I think what this talk of, like, I don't know if John Cena can deliver that I'm hearing out there. It's like, based on what? Like, there's no reason to think that he's not going to be all in on this. Like, I fully expect him to be invested, bought in, and in this for the long haul for the rest of this final run of his to make work, and then to put over some kind of babyface in the end, whether that's Cody or somebody else. We'll see. But as far as, like, The Rock and Cena go here, like, I want to see these guys play off each other. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see, you know, two pros like Cena and Rock, like, go, you know, present as a unit. And I think that's going to be really fun for, you know, just television in general. But I also think it's going to be really cool to watch Cody, the babyface in all of this, go up against that. He's going to gain a lot in terms of notoriety, in terms of getting over with the crowd, even more so than he already is, by running up against this onslaught of Rock and Cena together. Even if he loses at WrestleMania, like, he's still positioned as, like, the ultimate face against this, you know, dynamic duo of Hollywood evil over here. That's good if you're Cody Rhodes. You can't get a bigger rub than that. So if you're sitting out there and you're a Cody Rhodes fan, like, yeah, he may lose the title at WrestleMania, but this is like top-notch stuff if you're him. It's like he's in the role of Cena back when Rock first came back and they did that match. That's him now.
Yeah, 100. Look, there's a reason they never turned John heel during his heyday. He was the ambassador of the company. He was doing all the Make-A-Wishes, right? He was one of their top merchandise sellers. He was, like, the ultimate media guy doing all the events. He was their politician. He was their guy. He was the WWE champion, whether or not he was the WWE champion.
Yeah.
Cody has taken that role. Cody has taken that role.
Yep.
They did not have anybody to replace John in that role when John was the guy. Cody is that guy. Cody's the quarterback. This is everything that he has ever wanted, everything he has ever preached about, everything he's ever dreamed of, and he's worked and he's earned that spot. So the fact that they did not want to try to hinder that at all by having a pro John Cena crowd at WrestleMania 41, like, I think is a very, very smart move. And yes,
Yeah.
Cody may have gotten his ass whooped. He may have gotten bloodied by the very Rolex that he tried to gift The Rock last year ahead of WrestleMania. Yeah, Travis Scott may have busted his eardrum, right? Like, but that was a crowning moment for him. And that's what makes wrestling so great, is like, even in a spot where you think like you'll have, people who aren't really able to read the situation go, oh my God, they just destroyed Cody. They buried him. No, they didn't. They anointed him the guy.
Right. Yes.
Because he
100%.
replaced John Cena. And now John Cena sees that Cody has replaced him. And he sees his, like, he knows his wrestling mortality is here. And he knows now that he wants, not only does he want to win a 17th world title, he needs it. And he needs it so badly that he's aligned himself with The Rock to get it. And he has sold out everything that he ever held true to himself in order to go win this thing at his final WrestleMania and get his storybook ending. And I could see this coming. And this is something that we've talked about on this YouTube channel. I can't remember what show. I may have said it on Fightful. I'm not sure, but it's definitely, I'm not just making this up for the first time. I said this leading up to Elimination Chamber, and I will say it again. I saw the shift in tone at the Royal Rumble press conference. I was there. You could feel it. Ahead of the Royal Rumble, it was, I'm happy to be here. I can't wait to spend this next year with you guys, the fans, and say goodbye. I'd love to win a 17th world title, but I just don't know if it's in the cards. I haven't won a singles match in 7 years. I don't know if I'm that guy, but damn it, the Royal Rumble is it's my lottery ticket. If I can get it, great. We'll see. Come along this ride. Maybe I can do this, maybe that, unsure of himself. Second, Jey Uso tossed his ass over the rope. You saw that look, that same look on his face on the floor that you saw at Elimination Chamber when he was about to execute Order 66 on Cody Rhodes, right? Like, he was just that loss, he looked lost in that situation.
The soul of John Cena was gone. I know people joke about Rock taking the soul, and like, I know that's a little funny, but that's what left him. Like,
yeah, the second his feet hit the floor, it's like something clicked in him. Yeah. And then he gets into that press conference and he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to take questions. He's very all business. He says, look, I'm taking my spot at Elimination Chamber because I have earned it. And then I'm going to win. And I'm going to go to WrestleMania. I'm going to win a 17th World Championship because that's what's best for business. If there is an all-time heel line in the history of WWE, it's best for business.
Yeah.
He was telling you everything he was about right then and there. You just had to listen. The shift in tone was there. And the fact that they immediately hopped on it at Elimination Chamber, I absolutely love that. And now, what? We got 10 months, 8.5 now, eight and 3 weeks. Because it's not just the turning heel. It's the redemption story at the end, because he's not going to retire a heel.
No, I don't.
So I mean, and that's the best thing that they can do, is how do you? It's the Star Wars angle, right? Like, how they're still good in Darth Vader. We see that. So how does John Cena, who has now turned into Darth Vader, turn back into Anakin Skywalker before he retires?
And that's another angle for Cody to come in there at the end, because like, he could very well be the conduit to that. Like, he's the Luke Skywalker, in this. So that's there. I love the. You echoed Star Wars a lot in what you just said there. Order 66, Darth Vader angle. You played that card. You talked a little bit about presentation of Cena as a heel. Let's focus there a little bit before we shift topics. I think that when you look at Cena at that press conference, to me, like, if I were to like put money on how he is, that's how he is. Like, in the promos to come and the interactions to come, like, it seems to me that that's a good tone to strike. He still looks the same. Like, he's not changing like his overall. Is that wearing suit? He's not, he's still Cena, but he's soulless. I think that if you go that route, that's a good route to go. The music, I hope he shifts that, because there's such a Pavlovian, like, cheer this song to the song he has.
Yeah.
You got to shift that. But I don't hate the idea of like dude, I'm still John Cena, but I'm a soulless John Cena. I still got my shirt. I still got my jorts. I still got the hat.
I would change everything. And he actually talked about this with Chris Van Vliet in an interview not too long ago, where he was talking about what the plan was when he was going to turn heel, back in 20.
And he did have new music then. Yeah.
He had new music that he had already cut. He said he cut it with saxophones, but he wants to if it ever saw the light of day, now is a chance to see it with the light of day.
Yeah.
He needed to recut it with trumpets, right? He had a new theme song. He was going to get rid of the jorts. He was going to be wearing like singlets, like wrestling like Kurt Angle style.
So crazy. It's like so crazy to think about that happening.
I would even, if I'm him, I don't know if I don't know what his filming schedule's like, right? Like he's still finishing up a movie now. But if he doesn't have anything on the docket for the rest of the year, if he's full time when he comes back for the European tour, because I believe he's advertised for the whatever March 16th, whatever it is. I guess he would be on SmackDown now, right? So March 14th. I think he's advertised for the March 14th SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Lean into it. Go bald. Shave your head.
Ooh.
Like just lean into
now that's
broad. Just come out. Or if you don't want to go completely bald, just go down to like the absolute, like do the LeBron James kind of thing where you go as like low as you possibly can go, so like you can't see the bald spot anymore. But do something, man. I would change it up. Do anything and everything you ever wanted to do as a heel now. If you want to go in the complete opposite direction, do it.
Because you got like
be disrespectful, be shady. Don't be a bitch, right? Pardon my French. Like, I don't want to see chicken crap John heel. I don't want to see that. That is my least favorite heel, unless you're the Miz or Dominic Mysterio. Like, if you are somebody where it makes sense to play that, great. I don't need to see Becky Lynch doing that, right? That's what I hate. Like, that, to me, ruined the Evolution match that she had with Charlotte Flair, where she was constantly running away. That's one of the best women's matches of all time. For me, I can't stand it watching her run away, because that should not have been her character at the time.
Yeah.
That should not be John's character now. He can't be afraid of Cody Rhodes. He needs to be ruthless. Find ruthless aggression, John Cena, but give us the 2025 version of that. I don't want Dr. Thugonomics. I don't want rapping. I don't want any cool John Heel stuff. I want vicious, ruthless, aggressiveness, soulless. Like you said, that's the John Cena that I want. Before we move on, our guy SP3 put out a new list this week. You can see it in its entirety on the Takedown on SI. Top 10 heel turns of all time. He had John Cena's coming in at number 2 all time, behind Hulk Hogan being the third man and creating the NWO. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that being up at number 2? The third one was the Montreal screw job. Mr. McMahon screws Bret Hart at Survivor Series.
I mean,
and then number 4 was Seth Rollins turning on the Shield.
No, I think this is appropriately slotted. I think it's appropriately slotted at number 2. I think I would, if I were to pick apart this list, I would like argue whether or not that, like, I guess it was like a heel turn for Vince McMahon, but like also not really. He wasn't even really like a character on television until then. So, but with that said, I think this is appropriately slotted. Like, look, this is the biggest babyface that WWE has had in 2 decades. Like, that's the bottom line. Just like Hulk Hogan was. I mean, and like the Austin turn would be higher if it worked, but it didn't. So that's going to be lower on your list. But like, this is on that level. Like, it's on that level, except that this was better executed. Crowd reacted more favorably to it in terms of buying what they were trying to sell. And it sets up and makes more interesting the biggest match that you're going to put on at WrestleMania this year.
Yeah. Hands down, and that's going to be your night 2 main event.
Yeah.
What I think is going to be more interesting is, what's the night 1 main event?
If I was Paul Levesque, I'd leave that open. I'd be like, hey, night 1,
that'd be open.
Whoever whatever match is hottest is going on last. Like, and I'll be the judge of that. So if it's Jay, great. If it's some triple threat with Punk, Roman, and Seth, awesome. If it's, Rhea, Iyo, and Bianca, okay, great.
Yeah, how about that? How about are we getting Rhea in a world championship match? Because holy hell.
Raw, main events. Guys, Rhea Ripley is not the women's world champion anymore. That title is around the waist of Iyo Sky in what I would truly deem like a shocking finish on multiple levels. Like, first of all, you have Iyo Sky win this match. She's the new champion. What, 6 weeks out from WrestleMania or something like that? That's big in and of itself. But then the way it goes down, where you've got Rhea Ripley kind of breaking from character, kind of getting into this scuffle with Bianca Belair ringside to distract her. That's an interesting nugget from not only is she losing the title, but she also has this kind of character arc story thing to work through now in terms of that happening. You saw her, she cut a really great promo on Raw after the fact that aired on Twitter. She, after the match, was like head in hands, like, oh, I can't believe I did this to myself. Like, I did this to me. That's a storyline that they're going to have to play out here. So a lot of cool stuff, a lot of balls in the air. One last thing before I toss it to you. What I loved about this finish, and I think that we'll talk about like the whole Rhea Bianca thing, because I think that's where it gets a little muddy. But for so long in WWE, you had these type of title matches happen, and they would happen, but there was no real sense of like, oh man, are they actually going to do a title change here? Like, probably not. Like, they're not going to. Like, it'll be a good match and whatever, and I'll watch, but it won't actually happen. They are working to actively change that perception of these big matches that air on television. And they're doing so with like well-timed, opportune moment surprises, like Jay winning the Royal Rumble, the Cena heel turn, obviously, and this. Because this match, you go into this and you think to yourself, all right, it's a good main event, but they're building up to Bianca and Rhea. That's the match. Curveball. And you want your fans like tuning in, not knowing what they're going to necessarily get every single time. You can't swerve them every week, but you can swerve them enough so that they don't get comfortable knowing what the outcome is going to be. And that, to me, is why this finish had value, regardless of how they got there.
Yeah, no, look, there were so many articles and previews and things that I put up on the Takedown this week or the week leading up to that, where I just felt like, out of respect to Iyo, I had to type Bianca, she challenges either Rhea Ripley or Iyo Sky at WrestleMania 41. Never once did I actually believe that I needed to write that sentence. No. I did it out of respect, right, for Iyo, because, hey, look, I don't want to assume, but never in the back of my mind did I think, maybe there's a chance Iyo wins this, right? It's the Monday Night Raw after your last big pay-per-view ahead of WrestleMania. You have got the dream matchup that has been set in stone. Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley. Clearly, that's the direction they're going to go. No way is she winning this. Is Iyo going to win this matchup? It makes no sense. Why would you do that? I'm already starting to think to myself, Jesus, what is there going to be for Iyo Sky to do
it right? Yeah.
WrestleMania? Because one of the articles I wrote this week, I can't remember what it was, but I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I'm genuinely concerned about Iyo Sky, because if she's not on the WrestleMania card, that's a massive crime against.
Yeah, you don't want that. Yeah,
because she has been arguably the best bell-to-bell in-ring performer in women's wrestling. Period. Stop. End of story. For the last year and a half, 2 years. So you better have something for her, Triple H. And I was thinking, maybe it's her and Dakota, and they'll go up against, Liv and Raquel, and it'll be the tag team titles and everything. Okay, that's not ideal, but I could see them doing that. And holy shit, they 100% shot, like, my mouth hit the floor when Iyo won the world title. And I loved it for all the reasons that you just said, right? It makes your audience feel like they have to tune in, and not everything is a guarantee. Man, the WrestleMania card that I thought that we were building toward in October, in November. I feel like the next time I'd get the chance to talk to Kevin Owens, I got to be like, because I brought this up to him, right? Like it was right when he was getting ready to wrestle. I think it's Saturday night's main event.
So against Cody, yeah.
Yeah, the first time he wrestled against Cody, I'm like, we can kind of see in the crystal ball. I even said this to him. Like, this is a video that actually aired on the YouTube channel, but it was just a conversation for an article I was writing. I was like, you can kind of see on the writing on the wall. Maybe it's Cody versus, Roman again, if that's the direction that they're heading. Maybe it's Cody versus, I forget who the other guy I said was, maybe Seth or something like that. I'm like, it was a whole big setup, right? To how would you love to be the guy who wants to upset that apple cart and really kind of shock the system? It wasn't Kevin Owens, but Triple H shocked the system with everything that he has done since then, starting, like you said, with Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble, with John Cena turning heel, with Iyo Sky now winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Like, you don't know. You genuinely do not know. You think you know, but you don't. You can make a good guess, but you don't. Even right now, I can sit here and say, I think it's going to be CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, because next week we got Punk and Rollins in a steel cage match, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be Randy Orton and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, but does Sami Zayn come back? And does Sami Zayn have beef with Randy Orton coming back in Elimination Chamber? Because mother effer, you could have come back 5 minutes sooner and stop me from getting power bombed on that damn.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Like, how do you get Sami Zayn worked into WrestleMania? Are there going to be more title changes, right? Like, is Becky Lynch coming back? Like, I feel like literally anything can happen, and it definitely feels like WrestleMania season. And this is where I have to really, really agree with something that Triple H said in the post-Elimination Chamber press conference. Because one of the things that was really irritating me about the weeks leading up to Elimination Chamber was a lot of people complaining that this didn't feel like WrestleMania season. Nothing is happening. They're just putzing along. They're not really getting into everything. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, guys, WrestleMania is a whole 3 weeks later this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how many times have we complained in the past that the card had been set up way too much in advance, and then in the weeks leading up to WrestleMania, we're like, Jesus, just get to the damn show already. They've done everything they can do. They've said everything that can be said. We're still 2 weeks out. And you guys want them to hop into things sooner when the show's later this year? No, I love the fact that they waited until Elimination Chamber to really ramp up and really give us any kind of direction. And then the fact that it wasn't the direction that we saw coming, I have to give Triple H props for that.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a perfect booker by any stretch of the imagination, but damn it, I do think he has started to listen on the women's division. I definitely think it's since the conversations that has been had, because look at the last 2 weeks, the last two main events of Monday Night Raw, absolute bangers and absolute great booking decisions at the end of it. And I think the women are going to be really set up nicely here.
Yeah.
And not only that, can we talk about Bianca Belair real quick? I think she did that shit on purpose.
See, this is why, like, I think you'd watch that angle and you can go, what? Rhea, you're distracted by that? Like, what the hell? Like, geez. But to your point, they've got 6 weeks here. They got a long way to go with whatever story this is. And what a good way to, like, match up, storylines revolving around Bianca Belair's heel turn than to have her be like an accomplice to whatever's going on with the Jade story, but also, do this with Rhea to get out of having to face Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Like, that's nuanced heel stuff that's going to take 2-3 weeks to play out, and that's okay.
Maybe longer.
That is
Maybe
okay.
Longer. Look, like, so I did the Fightful post show with Phil Lindsay of Bleacher Report. Boy, there's a lot of outlets rolled into one there. We all work for everybody. It's all
which post show? Raw or
I did the Fightful Elimination Chamber post show. All right. With Phil Lindsay. And he brought up this idea that the reason Bianca was screaming her head off was because it wasn't Naomi who attacked her.
Ah,
It wasn't Naomi. It was her. But she got her best friend murdered. Like Naomi was collateral
I like that.
damage. Collateral damage in this. And you could be sitting here saying, okay, well, wait a minute, because it was unveiled that Jade was attacked while Bianca was competing for the United States title in the United States title tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll come back at you and say, who's to say, she didn't have to do that in that time frame? Because, like, she could have planned for Jade to be discovered much later than during the middle of her damn match. So when they posted that photo up on there and showed live backstage, she had no choice but to freak out and rush to go check on her friend, even if she was the one who did it, right? She had no choice in that moment. She had been caught. She had been busted. There are ways to retcon these things, right?
Yeah.
To actually have it make sense. I think there's something about the idea of Bianca getting Naomi hurt because that was not what she meant to do, right? Whatever, if the motivation was things weren't working with Jade, she didn't like playing second fiddle to Jade, because remember, she was the roughest, the toughest, the quickest, the fastest, the strongest, all that until Jade Cargill showed up, right? Who was arguably stronger, more athletic, maybe faster. You look at their tag team matches, right? Everything was being built up for the Jade hot tag while Bianca was the one getting her ass kicked. When they lost, it was Bianca who was losing, right? There's stories that you can tell there. There's everything. If Bianca just cut a massive promo at the end of this and laid all of that out, it all makes sense. And you can look back on it and go, much like a Tony Storm reveal. You can sit there and go, oh yeah, damn, all that stuff does line up. This totally makes sense now, right? You could do that with Bianca. And the fact that if she was the one that was behind Jade and she was screaming bloody murder because she accidentally got her best friend killed, the girl who she really wanted to tag with instead of Jade, and that ended up being it. And then, oh yeah, she really didn't want to face Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania because, again, with Jade around, maybe it messes with Bianca's psyche. Maybe she's not as confident in her abilities anymore. Maybe she thinks, okay, I can beat Iyo. I don't know if I can beat Rhea, and it's really important to me that I keep my WrestleMania streak alive. So maybe I poke the bear here a little bit. Maybe I get Rhea to do something stupid, and I can get an easier path to winning the world championship at WrestleMania. Like, I think that's all of that stuff play out.
I think it's a really great story for Bianca Belair, and I hope that within that, I hope Rhea, I hope you get a promo from Rhea this week on Raw, being like kind of explaining herself a little bit. Like, I think she's got to save face a little bit there. Like, it was a little bit jarring seeing her, like, kind of, it's like, Rhea, whoa, like, what? She's not doing anything to you. Just get back in the ring and wrestle your title match. So, but listen, even the best of the best in terms of athletes can get distracted. You can have bad nights. You can make mistakes. You can, get distracted for the wrong reasons. And that happens. I want to see her own that and then, work to get back in the match. Do you think this lands, obviously we got 6 weeks, but do you think this lands as a triple threat, or does Rhea either get back the title and it's still a one-on-one, or like, how do you see this shaking out?
No, it's definitely a triple threat. Like, it has to be. I don't know how they get Rhea back into it. There are ways, right? Like, she's, as the former women's world champion, she now becomes the number one contender, right? They still have
rematch
clauses, don't they?
Yeah.
Sometimes they decide not to have them, but as far as I know, WWE can make up the rules as far as they go. So you have the automatic rematch clause. Maybe they do something where they have to have her jump through a few hoops. There's plenty of time to get to that, but I don't think that Rhea wins the title back and then they just discard Iyo at this point. Like, Iyo has now earned her spot in WrestleMania. Bianca is obviously there. Rhea's going to be there as well. The interesting thing to me is whether or not we get Jade or Naomi.
Yeah.
Like, if Naomi was the one, let's just say they decide not to do the Bianca heel turn storyline. Let's just say it was Naomi who took her out because she wanted, for whatever reason, she wanted to be Bianca's tag team partner, best friend, all that stuff. So let me get Jade out of the equation, and then I'll come to the rescue, and we'll be Team Glow, and everything will be great. Or Glow Est, whatever they call themselves. You can't do that angle at Elimination Chamber and not give them a singles match at WrestleMania. I'll die on that hill. Unless you're writing Naomi off television, which would be dumb because she was just at a red carpet with a neck brace on.
Yes.
Okay. Love the commitment, Naomi. Love the
it.
commitment. A bedazzled neck brace at that. But you can't do that angle. And if it was Naomi and not have them be a WrestleMania match, like you got to get them on the card.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of Jade Cargill, we'll finish up on her.
Yes.
She returned at Elimination Chamber, attacked Naomi. I would argue that I think this is the best that we've seen from Jade Cargill to this point. I thought that attack was tremendous. I thought she looked like a badass. I thought she she looked just aggressive. She looked like in the character, in the story. Like she looked like somebody that found somebody that beat her up, and then she is looking to exact revenge. And I think that a lot of Jade Cargill so far, she obviously has just a tremendous presence and a lot of charisma, but I think she's still like from an actual wrestling standpoint, like still thinking like, hey, I got to do this and then I got to do this and I'm going to do this spot. What I thought that she had in that moment when she's attacking in the Elimination Chamber cage is like authenticity. It finally felt like, man, she's just going. She's just she is this character. She's beating up this woman who got to her. She didn't hem and haw like, oh, maybe it's Liv and blah blah. Like she just I know what this was. I'm getting after it. I'm going. I thought she looked like $1 million. And if that's the Jade Cargill that we're gonna get moving forward, that's a really good sign for WWE developmental, but also just television moving forward for the next however many years.
I got 2 words for you, real quick. They both start with C. Comfortable and confident.
Yes.
That's what she looked like at Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
I can't always say that was the case whenever she was wrestling in or whenever she was on screen at WWE.
Correct.
I felt the same way when Liv Morgan came back at the Royal Rumble 2 years ago. When Liv Morgan came back, it was after her shoulder injury where Rhea obliterated her, right?
Mm-hmm.
She walked down to the ring and she just had this look in her eyes. Like she knew who she was. She was very, very confident and she knew she was about to go on a run.
Yeah.
I saw that same look from Jade. She looked confident. She looked cool, calm, and collected in the moment. And she was who she always said she was. She was that bitch in that situation. She whooped Naomi's ass. That was one of the best pure ass beatings I have seen. That was the best ass kicking of the entire Women's Elimination Chamber match. No shade on the rest of the ladies because I thought it was a good match. But it peaked before the bell even rang. It peaked because Jade was that good. It was great.
And it says something too that like there was another major beatdown angle on the same show in Cody and Cena and Rock, and you could still pull this out as something that stands out, and it really did. Yeah, comfortable and confident. That's a good way. Great way to put it. Guys, we'll wrap up there. Thank you so much. If you're watching this, hit like on the video. We do appreciate it. Hit subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. We got all sorts of content, interviews that are about to hit this channel. Some exciting stuff coming up next week and the week after. You're not going to want to miss it. Hit like, hit subscribe, turn on your notifications. Rick, any final words, my friend?
Yeah, you mentioned the interviews. Holy crap. What do we got? We got Emily Bett Rickards, who is playing Mildred Burke in Queen of the Ring. That is out everywhere in theaters today. Your interview with the director is going to drop, I believe, at some point today. Assuming I can get the editing done on that one. So that will drop today. John Alba talked with Adam Copeland ahead of Revolution on Sunday. Also, we have our Revolution prediction show that is up now on the channel. We got a lot. We got a lot. I got a lot of video editing I got to get to work on. So I'm just going to shut up. You can sign us off and I'll get to work on it.
Yeah, go edit some video. Jeez. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. This is Discussions on the Takedown on SI. Join us next week. This is Rick. I'm Zach. We'll talk to y'all soon. See ya.